For those of you who don't know, I am half Finnish, half American, and I was born in Germany. I've spent most of my life living in Germany, and I speak all three languages, some better than others. Ever since I was born, my mom would speak Finnish to me and my dad spoke English, and my friends and everyone around me spoke German. This is called the one person, one language approach, and it was coined by George Saunders in his book Bilingual Children. I don't think our parents studied how to raise us, it just naturally happened that way. The original idea was that we would move to Finland once I was ripe for school, since the Finnish school system was, and still is, really good. But that's not what ultimately happened, but it was, albeit accidentally, the best way to raise a third culture kid. Back in the 90s, third culture kids weren't really a thing yet. At least they weren't really talked about. While there were studies on how to raise bilingual children, it wasn't really out there. When we moved to the US when I was 3, my kindergarten teacher actually told my mom to stop speaking Finnish with me at home. I mean, could you imagine them saying that now? Anyway, because the plans to move to Finland didn't look like they were going to pan out, my mom decided to switch from Finnish to English. Look, I don't really blame the school. A bunch of German kids were moving to that part of the US at the time, so the school hired a German teacher. But they had a problem with me, because I didn't quite understand what language was. I would speak Finnish, German, and English all in one sentence. And if there ever was an emergency and I just decided to speak Finnish, no one would understand me. Now, this is a problem where the solution is definitely to just push through. Although babies can differentiate between languages by 7 months, speaking is a totally different thing. It definitely gets better with age, but even to this day, I will blank on a word in English and know the word in Finnish. As a kid, your parents understand all of the words you say, so why wouldn't your kindergarten teacher? Sadly, it did have consequences. I have home videos of me speaking pretty good Finnish for a 5-year-old. But since my mom stopped speaking Finnish and then I went to a German elementary school, the ability to speak Finnish just disappeared. In an attempt to learn Finnish later on, I was sent to Finnish summer camps. And while that did help at least a little, it wasn't until I told my mom when I was 15 to start speaking Finnish with me again. And that's when it started getting better. Because actually speaking the language is the best learning tool, no matter what age. Obviously, my parents could have never known how important my Finnish identity was going to be to me. And I still feel so ashamed to this day that I struggle with reading and writing the language. I don't even feel really comfortable speaking it, especially to people my age or younger who use so much slang. So if you do speak a minority language, as it's called, speak that language with your children. Learning a minority language later in life can be especially hard because of a lack of resources. But thankfully, even that is changing, like how Duolingo now finally has Finnish, although it did have High Valyrian and Klingon first. Patak! So, what language should you speak to your children? The answer is simple. Speak your mother tongue and speak it everywhere. Let your child associate one language with one parent, even in public. Read books and watch cartoons in your different languages. When you're together as a family, speak the language that both parents speak best. My dad doesn't speak Finnish fluently, but my mom speaks English fluently, so our family language was English. However, both my parents speak German fluently, but with an accent. So if our family language had been German, I would have developed their accent as well. But I learned German from being around German kids, so now I don't have an accent when speaking German. One of the many benefits of being a TCK is the languages that we speak, and those can open doors to job opportunities or even just another place to live. As a final point, please, whatever you do, don't speak a language with your child that you're not absolutely fluent in. I have seen so many German families who are speaking English to their children, thinking that it's going to be a benefit to them later in life. But it's not. All they're doing is ingraining the wrong pronunciation and bad grammar. And relearning what is actually correct is way harder than learning the language in the first place. That's it from me. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.